What's up, everybody, and welcome to episode 73 of Deckin Around. My name is Tyler.
I am Steve.
And today we are really excited. We have an amazing designer on the show. For any of you who are not familiar with Gakondo cards, we are going to be sitting down today with Max, the creative mastermind behind Gakondo, the brand, which also has come out with, in the past couple of years, the Gakondo Playing Cards, which absolutely amazing deck of cards. We've been actually looking to sit down with Max for a long while. We were just chatting about this beforehand, and we're really excited to actually have him on now and be able to sit down, talk about his motivation behind the deck, his introduction into the playing card world, and just find out everything we can about him.
Heck yeah, I'm excited. It's been a long time. I've known Max for 2 years now, and literally we've talked about it several times, being like, yeah, when's Max coming on? And his internet just wasn't up to par. So we're here.
The time has come, man. The time has come.
Yeah.
So, dude, I don't know about you, Steve. You ready for this week, man? You excited?
I am. I'm excited. You know, it's been a bit, and I'm ready to dive in.
Well, hopefully everyone else is out there is excited as well. And if you haven't already, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. And without further ado, let's bring on Max. What's up, Max? How you doing, man?
Hey, guys.
How's it going?
Muraho. In Kinyarwanda, muraho means how are you?
How do you say it?
It's like muraho in respect. So if I say muraho, it's like
Muraho.
How are you? Like muraho.
Muraho.
Muraho. Yeah.
Muraho.
Muraho. Oh, you can. If I want to say amakuru. Amakuru is how are you? They direct between friends. Amakuru.
Okay. Amakuru.
And then you answer nimeza.
Nimeza.
Dude,
does that mean I'm good?
Amaku.
Yes.
Nimeza.
Yeah.
Nimeza. Okay. Nimeza.
Yeah.
Dude, I feel like I learned so much on this show. We're not even 2 minutes into it, so it's blowing my mind.
Dude,
I love it.
I have a question. How do you say your last name?
Niyomwungeri.
Niyomwungeri.
Mungeri, yes.
Mungeri.
Mungu.
Yeah, right. Okay, yeah. Okay.
That's a consonant. That's a combination right there. I'm not going to be able to get. I'll tell you
we're
that
not,
right
we're not
now.
there here in America. We can't do that.
My God. But dude, honestly, I have to say, I'm so really pumped to sit down and talk with you today because I think you bring something to this playing card community that we haven't really seen in the past. Someone who is in a part of the world where playing cards are not as prevalent in the quality that we all expect them to be. You know, we obviously have international designers from all over the world, but they're in places where playing cards have been around for generations. And, you know, you look at you look at Europe and they have Cartamundi there. You look at the US, we have the United States Playing Card Company. You know, jumping right into it, what first brought you to the idea of creating a playing card deck based on Rwandan culture?
So that's an interesting question because I was learning how to play cards.
Oh, wow.
And I was playing with a friend, and when I was shocked that I don't know, it just like I had a thought. I'm like, why can't we have our own motifs?
Yeah.
Is there anyone making any Rwandan motifs on playing cards? And I started doing research the next day, and I remember I did a Photoshop mock-up kind of thing, and then people liked it. I was like, maybe this can make a good idea. Then I remember the first days when I was just drawing, and then I joined the cards collectors, the United Cardists. But I was introduced by technology, Teddy.
Yeah, Teddy. Yeah.
Most of you know him. Yeah. So he's been with me from day one.
Awesome.
And of course, all along, I worked with a local artist to do the illustration, a guy called Tony Bakatubia. And the second ones, the ones we have right now, I worked with a guy called Regis. Yeah. So like I started because I started doing my own illustration, but it didn't work. I didn't feel it, and I was like, let me work with people who know how to illustrate. So. And that's how the story started, in short.
Awesome.
That's really cool.
That's so rad. It's really great. You know, Tyler and I are big fans of cultural decks. You know, we've seen many of them, and yours was like one of the first decks that I saw. You know, I think Teddy introduced me to it. Actually, he posted about it, and that's how I kind of got introduced to you. I loved it. You know, I thought it was very cool. We saw a couple decks out there that were, you know, kind of bringing just people of color onto decks, but not such a engulfed in the culture. And there's so much knowledge behind your deck, so much information, and I thought that was really inspiring.
Yeah, I was actually, when I started, I didn't think that I was the only one until I went to Cartamundi. That's when like people are shocked. They're like, "You're the first black person we've ever received at
Wow,
Cartamundi,
That's
and
crazy.
straight from Africa, right?" So and the determination, the whole, it takes time. You have to be patient to learn and grow in the community. For me, I would give credit, some credit to the community, even United Cardists, how they embraced me and kept pushing me. I remember when they were telling me, "Oh, there's negative space." I was like, "What? What do you mean negative space?" I didn't understand what it was. So I had to learn baby steps. I'm glad that I'm here and that I'm sitting with you guys. You have cards in your house more than even your own clothes. So
I'm almost. Yeah. I'm ashamed to admit it, though. I'm ashamed to admit that.
I buy cheap clothes. I'm not cheap, but I'm straight Banana Republic, man. From the outlet.
You gotta start buying Gakondo merch too.
Yeah, dude. I'm down.
I'll definitely. We'll pick up some Gakondo hoodies for sure. I know they're available, so we're gonna check out the site. And for anyone who hasn't checked out the site or even hasn't seen the deck, the link is down in the description below, so you absolutely need to check it out. But what kind of started the whole brand for you? You know, the idea behind Gakondo. Was the playing cards the first kind of inception there, or did you want to start the brand even before that?
So when it started, it was just the playing cards.
Okay.
But then the playing cards led me to dig deeper in the Rwandan culture heritage, because the more I dug deeper, and I found out that there was more to it and that I didn't know. So I had to learn my own culture heritage. I had to learn like day in, day out. And then last year, that's when I started thinking outside the box. I'm like, what if this was to become a brand of its own?
Yeah.
A global brand. And then that's where I started to test and see the market, how it is. But what started is the playing cards, and it's my pillar. I always fall back to. I haven't been in touch so much with the community, and this is a great opportunity just to be here and being able to be embraced again in the community, because like it's been busy with the apparel and the whole merchandise trying to but then I feel like this is a connection. I feel like the welcome, the lost kid is back. That's how it feels, right? So I'm really, really happy to be here. And yeah, the cards are the first product. It started as a joke, so it's an accidental brand. I always tell people Gakondo is an accidental brand.
Hey, that's you know what?
It's really cool though.
Best.
Yeah.
So isn't Deckin Around? Deckin Around's kind of an accident.
Yeah,
yeah.
All things considered, but you know, and it's amazing to see though, like brands that come about as kind of a, like I said, a joke or a kind of a light idea that really evolve into something so meaningful. And how's like you said, it's kind of playing cards are a new thing for Rwanda and the Rwandan culture. How is the inception of how is the reception of the brand been as it relates to like your local communities?
The cards, they love it. So we're a culture that loves playing cards. We love playing cards, but there was no diverse products in that range of products. And once people started to know, oh, we have our own cards. So it went like, I remember like that was in March 2018, if I'm not wrong. The Twitter, like I posted a picture. I shared with my friend called Assad. I shared with him a picture of the cards because I had ordered them and I sat with them at the balcony. I'm like, what am I gonna do with this? Am I gonna give out these cards? Because I had no plan to turn it into a business. Right. I was sitting with 210 cards without having a plan to sell them. So this is the first one. Most of people, they don't know. This is the first deck I got out of the box. I even tagged it.
That's really cool.
And then my friend shared in a WhatsApp group, right? In the next 2 hours, I got 20 orders.
Oh wow!
And then in the next how many hours? 6 hours, I had the Twitter was on fire.
Wow.
Like it was burning. Like people were going, no way, right? Seriously, I panicked because I wasn't used to that much of attention. I was like, oh, right? And then that led to me trying to. I started talking to hotels, started talking to coffee shops, and people were like, "Oh, we want," and then I delivered. So that's how it started. And Rwandans to this day, they kind of they've been big fans to this brand. And
Awesome.
where I am also, I give credit to the people who've been pushing between my closest circle. My friend Ludovic, he's been with me from day one, and my family, right? Seeing me, the kids, my boys, they've seen me design this, and to the day they held it in their hands. It's so it's so interesting to inspire my boys.
Yeah.
So they feel like whatever I say, I do. So it feels nice to see it come to life. Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah, I mean, dude, you got into like the airline out there too, right? Weren't they selling your decks on the planes?
The Rwanda, it's the national airlines.
Yeah,
that's so amazing. So that's awesome.
Yeah, they have Zahabu. They have this version.
That's really cool.
So dope.
Yeah.
And so that's amazing that you really saw this opportunity to bring your culture and your heritage to playing cards for everyone within, especially Rwanda, to share. I mean, obviously the reception shows that people were wanting it; they just didn't realize it.
True.
That's so awesome.
Until it came out, that's when I realized people needed this. And to this day, I can't even fulfill the whole market, right? Because I'm still trying to go baby steps because the COVID also kicked in, the pandemic. We're still trying to kind of recover from it. So, but I want to have it on every shelf on every supermarket, every store to have the cards, the Gakondo cards. But then also still being able to provide more ideas to the community of cards collectors, cardists. Yeah.
That's really cool.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, that's dope.
And so you kind of mentioned that as part of this journey for you, you got an opportunity to really learn a lot more about your own culture and history and everything. What were some of the things that you really stepped away from this, realizing like, wow, that was amazing to learn?
One of the things is when I realized that the word Gakondo is traced back to the first king of Rwanda. So when it was a joke, when I started again, this was an accidental. And then when I dug deeper, and I was like, okay, this word is related to the army, the first army of the first king of Rwanda. His name was Gihanga, and his second name was Ngomijana, like 100 drums, 100 drums. So, and his army was named Gakondo. So it's an essence of who we are as a people. It's among the foundations of Rwanda. And it felt like heavy. And then I started going the process of how can I use this word or this name to kind of portray the Rwandan culture heritage to the globe. So that's how it came. But when I discovered that Gakondo is one of the biggest word in Kinyarwanda, I was like, what? Right? There's that, and then as I grow with this brand, I'm learning more about the hairstyle, fashion, the values, which are the pillars of the Rwandan culture heritage. So those values that include decency, humanity, kindness, heroism. So all those things are embedded in the Rwandan culture. Ubupfura, ubutwari, ubunyangamugayo, n'ubumuntu. Ubumuntu is humanity. Ubumuntu. Ubupfura is decency. Ubunyangamugayo is integrity. And ubutwari is heroism. So those are the among the values. There are more among the values that kind of represent this brand. And I wanted people to know Rwanda more than just a country that came out of genocide, right? Against the Tutsi, right? So I wanted it to be to celebrate also who we are, the people. So every day I'm still discovering, like peeling out, like and discovering more about our Rwandan culture. And keep in mind, I was born in Burundi, so I have two bloodline in me.
Yeah.
There's Burundi and Rwanda, right? So and I want to kind of grow in this culture kind of sector.
That's really cool.
Yeah, no, I think it's great. It's such a powerful word too. You know, when people see it, they feel it, like you said. So to have a brand that uses that name, it's very touching for a lot of people, I'm sure there.
Thanks, bro.
Yeah.
Really appreciate it. Yeah. And I want to thank Steve for the opportunity to be able. Well, I know, no, don't come on. He doesn't like compliments, so I'm gonna expose you right now because. So he kind of gave me the American market, right? Because like I was trying to see how do I tap into that market with the cards, but like when you placed me on your Wounded Corner website, I was like, what? Like I was seeing like, and you're a man of your word, and you know, working with integrity again. It goes back to those values I was talking about, right? Integrity and Tyler, when you brought me to that show and you did a review on Zahabu, I was like, what?
Dude.
I didn't expect this when I started this accidentally, right? So I'm so grateful, guys. So
dude, we honestly, it's been our pleasure to be able to help with this journey for you because honestly, we love your work, and like Steve and I were so excited to be able to review your deck. Like we love what you've brought to the community and the direction you've brought, and also the fact that like again, you've brought this whole world that lives outside of all these countries, outside of all this kind of specificity, and brought it to Rwanda and really kind of shared that passion of playing cards and brought pride to the country with the deck of cards, which I think is something that I just love about the medium of playing cards. But
thanks, man.
It's amazing. I mean, truly, you've done some spectacular work with it. Speaking of like the idea that you've brought these cards and obviously everyone's excited about it, have you now had people approach you about doing more decks for like either Rwandan businesses or Rwandan kind of organizations, things like that?
Thank you so much, Mark. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Mark. We appreciate the support, man.
Yeah, I can see that. You're right. I can see the messages. So yeah. So for the collabos, we're currently working with an artist called Shaka, and we're about to release our first Kickstarter campaign.
Yeah,
that's exciting.
You'll be able finally to kickstart us, and
that's awesome.
Yeah, so probably a few weeks to come. So I'll be collaborating with different people in the industry, and of course, Teddy, Deck Knowledge, will be able to review this deck also, including you guys. So
nice.
This deck we're about to release will be dedicated to the whole community because
that's really cool.
And it's a deck that speaks a lot about the dynasties or the kingdoms in Africa. So again, I'm still going with the culture heritage.
Yeah.
So I don't want to spoil the surprise, but this deck, you're gonna love it. And I remember on United Cards, many people are like, Max, can you run a Kickstarter? And I was like, I can't, because Rwanda wasn't part of the Kickstarter countries, right?
Yeah.
So, and I had to find different ways. It took me 3 years to be able to hey, King's Wild, what's up? Yeah. So it took me 3 years to be able to kickstart finally. So. Yeah. You guys, I'm calling you out. You guys to come and support your brother.
When dude, the deck looks amazing. Yeah. I'm excited about it.
I'm excited too.
Wait. Yeah.
Dude. And Kickstarter is a whole different kind of. It allows you to really gauge the community interest. Like you said, this was all an accidental thing for your first deck. So to see the reaction you had there, the Kickstarter aspect is going to let you see that almost immediately, which is so exciting, but also stressful, but primarily exciting. So it's going to be fun, man.
It's worth it. It's worth it.
Absolutely.
This stress is worth it, right?
Yeah.
And whatever you guys are doing and all of you there are doing in a community, it's worth it. I see Nurul Alam in the group. There's some good things happening. So
Yeah.
he's part of the campaign too. So
Nice.
there's some good things, and congratulations to him for his new deck.
For the Shogun deck.
Shogun?
Absolutely awesome deck.
I backed the shit out of it. I love that thing.
Yeah. Dude. So for you, has this kind of been a unexpected, like, so you're traditionally a designer already prior to this playing card stuff, right?
I'm a graphic designer. Yeah.
So was this something that you kind of expected to take off the way it has, or when you really went into this, was it more like, hey, this is something I'm going to do for fun, and I'm still going to do my graphic design business on the side?
I was still doing, even today, I still do some consultation,
Nice.
brand strategy and stuff, but I did not expect this to be accepted this way, especially that this is based on a niche. It's a niche that is very specific, and they know what they want.
Yeah.
What do I Google to find it? I just hopped on. Okay, Gakondo.com.
Yep, Jackson, if you take a look in the description below, the link to the site is right there. You can check it out, man.
Yes. So this whole thing was accidental, and as a graphic designer, I didn't think this would take on. First of all, I wasn't part of the community, so I thank the knowledge and Teddy to be able to push me towards this community, because I wouldn't have known you guys if it wasn't him.
Don't listen to him.
Hey, don't mind Jackson. I'm posting the link in the chat because he's you know. That's Jackson. So, he's always causing trouble.
I'm removing it. Yeah. So I did not expect it. Just to tell you, I did not expect this thing to work out. I'm still blown and overwhelmed by the way people embrace this brand. Like, I can never take it for granted. Just to tell you, this means everything. And now that I've ventured in this full time, I'm building this for legacy. I'm building it for the next generation, and I want the next generation to know about their culture, to accept their culture, to embrace it, to celebrate it. But not only Rwandans, but also the globe, to know who we are as a people and the values of Rwandans. So if you see a Rwandan, you'll be like, yeah, that's a Rwandan. Because I can see a Rwandan, I can spot on a Rwandan at the airport anywhere. So you'll be able to know, like, the more you discover about Rwandan people. So it's an accidental. I'm still a graphic designer. I love good designs, minimalistic mostly. I hope one day to make a deck of cards with the dot. Someone did it probably.
There's definitely a lot of minimalist decks out there, but it's funny because I think the interesting thing about minimalism, and there's so many takes on it, that we see minimalist decks all the time, and they always have different styling to the way they approach the minimalist aspect. Other than the back design, a lot of them want to go with like just a plain like X on the back design, which isn't the way to go because there's a ton of decks like that. But it's really interesting to see like that minimalist approach. Now, being a big fan of minimalism, how was it for you designing this deck? Was it a lot harder than you anticipated?
On the illustration parts, because the message and the consistency and the comments that I got from the United Artists community, I was like, how am I going to do this? What are they talking about?
Half the time they don't even know what they're talking about, bro.
Seriously, I'm like, I don't know this. I'm new. And sometimes they write to you as if you know everything. I'm like, no, I don't. I'm new. I'm a new little kid on the block. So, but then with the graphic design, I started looking at the patterns. The Rwandan patterns are called imigongo. Imigongo means the backs, right? So, and then I was like, let me make something without copying, and I started making this. So this is the shield. Most of the times we call this a shield, right? We call it the shield. And you can see the 3 spears. And in the Rwanda of the old Rwanda, we used to have 3 classes, right, in Rwanda, which later on, they become our own death, because the colonials came here and they turned these 3 classes, economic classes, social classes, Hutu, Tutsi, Twa. They turned them into ethnic groups.
Right.
And they started measuring the eyes, like the Jewish people, right? They measure eyes and the nose, and and then they targeted one ethnic group called Tutsi, and that's how we ended up with genocide.
Yeah.
The whole thing was a mess. Until today, it is still a sensitive topic,
Yeah.
and but we are healing as a nation. But then the next generation, I want them to know that Rwanda is more than just what happened in 1994.
Right.
Yeah.
It is to be celebrated. Our Rwandan culture, our those three social classes were celebrated, right? It was the noble, the middle class, and the servants. So it was divided that way. But we had houses. They call them houses and families. Avega, Avatobe. There are people even who are represented by the animals in like different animals.
Wow.
The hawk, Abasinga, right? And some with the frog, some with the cheetah. So they are divided. So we'll be able to share that with the third campaign. So that's another deck that I'm working on, just to let you know that it will be based on still on cultural heritage, and we'll have facts about the kings that took place in our history, and then it will be designed with the standard design. So just to let you know, for people who like standard design faces, it will be designed as standard design. So
that's cool.
Interesting. Very cool.
I love how you are all about teaching the heritage as well, and bringing that to, not just America, but people all over the world. A lot of people just put out a deck and they don't really teach about it. They're expected other people, maybe to do the research or whatever. So it's really cool that, you do have that information out there for people to learn.
Yeah, it's paramount because I grew up in one country, and then when I moved there, it's the Rwandans. They know one thing: they're resilient people, and they know how to heal. We've been healing for the last 20 years after genocide,
Yeah.
and I want the world to know that we are more than just what happened, the tragedy that happened. So, and being part of the global community is key to be able to share and celebrate with everyone. And whenever I see my Nigerian friends doing the deck of cards, and I see other people in the community, the designers design something that is related to Africa, I go crazy. And I know the other guy, Nikolai, he likes celebrating the Vikings. Yeah. So I'm into culture decks. But also when it comes to specification, I always tell people in my previous life, maybe I was blind because I love the feel. I love, I love like the touch, just close my eyes and feel everything. So
yeah,
I hope I can do a deck of cards that the community will love. I was gonna tell them the name of the deck, but I don't know if it's right. It's called.
Such a tease.
Let's hear it. If you want to share it, we're open to listening, man.
It's called the Dark Continent.
Ooh. Oh, that's really cool.
Nice. That's cool.
So, and it's based on the African dynasties that took place. Not only Africans, it includes also the Ottoman kingdoms, because there were strong kingdoms that took place. There's Ottoman, there's Zulu, there's the Habesha, Ethiopia. So, and there's more. There's more to it. So I don't want to spoil, but you
that's really exciting,
the artwork.
Dude, I saw some of the artwork. It's amazing.
Oh,
it's beautiful. Yeah. I'm excited.
Dude, that is so awesome.
Now, obviously you have some decks in the background. Like, what are some decks that kind of inspire you now moving forward? Do you have specific decks that you like? Design-wise.
I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of Theory 11, to be honest.
Yeah.
Nice.
Their details. I don't know whoever makes those foils, but they're really specific. The first decks I got from Wounded Corner is this.
Nice.
Hudson, yeah.
Right? They're beautiful. Like the feel is amazing. I got the James Bond and the Star Wars, and I got recently this one,
Yep,
Mandalorian.
Other than Mandalorian, nice.
Yeah, and I would love to try and see if I can start kind of. There's some decks I like from that guy. What's his name? King
Jackson.
Giles.
Yeah, Jackson.
Jackson. Yeah. There's a deck about America. It looks like American money or West.
Yeah, the Federal 52. Yeah.
Oh, there's a couple.
Treasure,
Yeah, there's a couple.
Oh.
Yeah, the Fed. You have the original Fed 52. He actually just released another Fed 52. He's got a couple that have the money theme to them, but always dope decks.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
That guy. Now, when you talk about designers, he's my favorite designer. I don't know the designers who from Theory 11, but he's my favorite card designer in the industry.
Yeah. Jackson is like one of our
he's
favorite
next level
people in the world. That's
yeah.
for damn sure.
He's crazy.
Yeah, he is like nobody else. That is for damn sure.
Yeah.
Nobody designs.
And then also the fact that he doesn't just design decks of cards. He understands branding and he understands how to drive merchandise to the campaign. There's that, and there's another guy called, is it Chris? Or the guy who did that deck that opens like
Kevin.
Card Mafia, yeah, Kevin Yu, yeah.
Kevin, yeah. That's another guy. He's an engineer.
In everything.
That guy is a deck engineer.
Yeah.
So the third one will be what? That would be me.
There you go. That's fair enough. You can inspire yourself.
No, I like Nikolai. So Nikolai
does beautiful work.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see his most recent one too, with the switch to MPC and having a more usable stock with his cards. It'll be interesting to see because they are very collector oriented.
Yeah.
So I have questions for you guys. You just brought a good question.
Let's do it.
Right?
Let's hear it. Yeah.
So with I don't know if it's the right place to ask these questions, but about what's popping in the industry right now. When do you think is the right time for Gakondo to run a campaign?
Oh, so I have to say it's actually been slow recently, and it's interesting because I think this is the first week on Kickstarter that's actually picked up a little bit. But I think it's interesting to see how. Trying to think like. Usually like this late in the, I don't want to say this late in the year, it's not that late, it's July, but usually this time of year, you see people kind of try and get stuff in before like August, September, so that they can fulfill before like the Christmas season and the holiday season to make sure that like, if they're getting decks for gifts or for other people's, things like that. Personally, I think any time is a good time to run it, except for like November, December. Yeah. As long as you don't do it the last 2 months of the year, because very few campaigns come out then. And even the ones that do struggle to fund because so many people are spending money on holiday gifts and things like that. I'd say probably any other time of the year other than that. If you're looking to do it sooner rather than later, I'd say August, September are probably your best bet there.
Yeah.
Even so like in 3 weeks, 4 weeks, in 4 weeks, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you did in the next 3-4 weeks, yeah.
So
the only thing is you want to make sure that you want to make sure that you're marketing the deck. You don't want to just throw it up on Kickstarter. You want to show the deck for like 2-3 weeks, get the hype around it. That way, even a month or so. That way, people see it, they're psyched for it. You get the notify link up. You can do that right away, and then that way, once it goes live, people aren't surprised, and they're looking forward to it.
Well, I'm willing if you guys have a slot to when the Kickstarter is the day of the Kickstart, we can do a live Kickstarter.
Absolutely, man. We'll absolutely do a live launch with you. Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
And the second question will be, of course, I always start with the card collectors niche. The second one will be cardist, and the third one will be magician. But the first section is what I look at mostly. What is the best manufacturer or the best go-to for a card stock when it comes to card stock for collectors?
Cardamundi.
Well, so here I'll give you a wider. So I prefer Cardamundi over anybody. I think Cardamundi feels the best, even as a collector, because I handle the cards, even if they're whatever, they're nice or foiled or gilded or whatever. I don't even care. So, but when it comes to collecting, Jackson can back me up on this one. It doesn't really matter. People will complain if it's not USPCC, Cartamundi, the EPCC. They'll complain, but they'll still fucking buy it. You know, if they like the design and it's great, they'll still buy it. You know, everybody's going to complain no matter what stock it's on. You know, but as a collector, you know, if people love your work and you have a following, they're going to buy your deck.
So with that being said, the reason I still say Cartamundi is, like Steve said, they don't care, but that little bit of bump you get from using someone like Cartamundi or EPCC will like really, that'll draw in a few more people than if you were using like some off-brand. Yeah.
So
it's like a Red Bull. Yeah.
One great thing about Cartamundi is they do split runs, which is great. That is definitely beneficial that a lot of other companies don't.
Yeah. So if you want to do like multiple back design colors, they'll count it as a single run, so you'll be able to get better pricing for more decks, even if they're different colors, same design. So that is without a doubt a benefit.
I think a lot of changed. I told you the story about the second batch of the first better. I took a train to Cartamundi, and I went back to Paris because I was in a conference. I went back with the full bags. And the train left me.
Oh my God.
I almost cried. It was the last train and I almost cried. So it was like, when I traced back and look back, the hustle to make this work, man, it was really hard, but worth it. I don't regret a single of it. So really interesting.
So things have definitely
What do you think about Legend? What do you think about Legends?
I like Legends, actually. They're really stepping it up. The one thing I will say about Legends is I think if you give them another year, they'll have better brand recognition, but they've put a lot of energy and effort into making their stock phenomenal now. So I think probably come next year, they'll be a much more major contender than they are right now.
Yeah, and their new thin crushed Viper is like almost on par with USPCC. It's amazing.
How about the gilding? Who's the best in the industry?
It depends where you're talking about. In the US, it's different. There's one in France that does really well. Who did the butterfly deck.
So what do you call this again? What do you call when you're taking two cards and?
Oh, when you pharaoh them, yeah.
Pharaoh, yeah. So because that can affect the pharaoh if you do it wrong.
Gilding?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you do it gilding, might affect the pharaoh. You just had to produce that. Let me see your beautiful decks, because your deck is beautiful. Like, I need all of them.
Yeah.
Ooh. Wow, look at that.
Cartamundi.
Wow.
But
man, you're a patient man. Oh.
Yeah, no, they did a good job.
Waiting that long, you're a patient man to wait that long. That's the tricky part. But if I run a Kickstarter campaign, I would love to get that type of. Let me see if I can do what you did.
Come on, man. There you go.
I'm on YouTube. I have to do it.
Bro, you've had 2 years to practice.
Yeah. It's getting better. It's getting better.
Right. Oh, I have to show the back, right?
Yeah.
There you go.
What?
That's a solid fan, yeah.
That's good. You did it.
I love it.
You told me that.
Steve loves to teach people how to fan, so he's got a good fan to it. So
I wish I had a damn fan in this office.
Oh my God, dude.
And I remember when he was learning how to fan. That's where he got into it. He was still into photography, and now he's a pro in the industry. Yeah, man, we came from a long place.
So Max, you talk about stock too. What was your experience for stock the first time? How did you go about finding a manufacturer that you wanted to work with initially?
I kind of sent emails to different people. You'll be surprised. I had a conversation also with Will Royer.
Nice.
I've had a what? And Nothing.
I don't think it went as planned. So go ahead.
And I tried talking to US Playing Cards. I sent an email to, I think, to Legend long time ago, and I've tried different suppliers in China, and then the first deck was produced by Katamundi, of course. But the process was long. I wasn't used to that.
No.
I thought if I had a file, that's it. But the changes they asked me to do to prepare the file, I almost gave up. And then getting hold of them, Belgian people, they don't work after past 5.
Yeah.
And they start work at 9. And when they're on their holidays, you can get them. I'm like, oh, right? So I had to learn to be patient. And as a result, I got this. So,
dude,
Steve knew me when I had my hair.
Yeah.
So now look.
Yeah. Dude,
my
it's
God.
beautiful though, man. You're a good-looking man. But dude, let me tell you something. The one thing that Tyler and I can contest to is like when you're dealing with, and Jackson is like the perfect person that knows all this, but if unfortunately, all these manufacturers that we're dealing with are all over the fucking place. You know, like for my campaign or for Warrior Women, or, you know, like I had for my collector's box, I went to India. Like not me personally, but the people, like a company in India did my collector's box. You know, I have Belgium doing my cards. I have Greece doing another deck and another, you know, I had California doing my tuck boxes. I had coin, I had Canada, you know, and I had Christian in Norway designing. So it's like, I'm trying to figure out times on all this stuff. And dude, it takes forever to like go through the communication with all these.
So between you and your girlfriend, who's the most patient?
I mean,
it sounds like you are, right?
Definitely me.
I don't know. She puts up with Steve,
she
so
puts up with me, but it's a different patient.
I know.
It's a different patient. She's definitely she's more tolerant than me.
There you go, more tolerant. That's the way to put it. I love it.
Oh my goodness, yes, because it requires you to be really patient. Because
you have no choice. Like, you have no choice.
Yeah. So Tyler, do you have a plan to release any decks?
So I like to be behind the scenes guy. So for like Warrior Women, I like ran all the logistics behind the campaign for like the actual campaign itself and the manufacturer for like the coins and the collector's box and all that. That's where my strengths lie. For the ideas, I have a tough time with it. I have a tough time with like coming up with an idea that I think will really like pop for a deck. I've thought about it. Steve and I have kicked around a couple ideas for a Deckin Around deck. I've kind
the
of.
answer is yes, Tyler.
Maybe I may.
Tyler,
maybe.
I'm here.
We'll see.
I'm here. If you guys want to like brief about this or brainstorm about it, I'm here. I have plenty of ideas, and you can put Deckin Around on the deck.
There you go. We appreciate that.
Seriously.
We can call it Gakondo Around.
There you go.
No, I have other concepts that are not even based on culture. So,
yeah.
But then I'm trying to not mix things. I want Gakondo to be only specific for. Sure. But I would love to kind of collaborate with anyone there in the chat, Big King's Wild Project, and whoever wants to collab. I'm here. So.
Yeah, no, for sure. There will definitely be something down the pipeline for sure.
Yes, you know? And Steve, you owe me a deck together, so
we will make something happen for sure.
Okay.
It's an interesting one because I think everyone in the community at some point is like, oh, I want to create a deck of cards, but like coming up with an idea that really like hits, it's tough.
Yeah, it's gotta, and I think, you know, Tyler and I are definitely. I don't want to say brand heavy, but it's got to fit our style, you know.
I like I like the behind the scenes work. I like being the logistics guy. I'm gonna tell you, with Warrior Women, like going out and finding manufacturers, you know, like we just talked about with you trying to reach out to all the playing card companies. I had a blast with that. Like as much as it's a patience game and it's definitely frustrating, when you finally find something that works and it's so rewarding, you know. Like we we found a manufacturer for all of our coins, and going through that whole process and talking to like 30 different companies and finally building this relationship with a company just was very rewarding and very fun. Like I like that relationship building side of things. So that's why I've always kind of been like, I like to help facilitate decks, but I'm sure one day I'll come out with one. But it'll be a full bleed deck made for fanning. Yeah, a little bit. You know, I'll play a little shy. Yeah.
Imagine the neon thing on it. There's a company in Florida, I think. It's called Mama Sauce. Does anyone know that?
I don't think
They're really good with the neon glowing decks, like tack boxes. So I think this glowing thing, I can see even your backgrounds with that LED. Just, hey, yo, man, look. You guys are the cool kids on the block.
Dude, no,
we'll make it happen.
Go back to episode 2 and 3 and 10, and I had literally all white in the background, nothing on the back. It was horrible.
Oh my goodness.
And like, I mean, there were episodes where Steve had a bed in his background and it would be piled up like cardboard boxes. I'm like, dude, you gotta get rid of the cardboard boxes.
I was like, no, I just gotta get rid of the bed.
Good. That's really good because it shows where you came from, and you would appreciate where you came from because you know it was hard, but you don't just give up, right? So just to tell, there's a painting behind me. This painter, his name is Joel. He's Rwandan, and I like this style he did. So it was the first time to see this painting. The style he did, it looks like what do you call it? The touching fingers painting.
Yeah.
What's it called?
It's the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel, but I can't remember what it's called now. Let me think.
Is it Da Vinci? Is it by Da Vinci?
It's by Michelangelo, and it's
Michelangelo. Yeah. And this guy, he designed this guy's. So when you Google jumping urukiramende, so it's like in the Olympics they do this. So traditionally they used to do this. It's called gusimbuka, is to jump. Gusimbuka. Urukiramende, it's a rectangle. Urukiramende is a rectangle. Gusimbuka, urukiramende, like jumping a rectangle.
That's cool.
That's traditionally so you can see the people with their spears and the sticks and standing beside, because they used to compete. The guys could jump 2 meters high without anything, no stick.
That's crazy.
So
that's high.
You can Google that, gusimbuka, jumping urukiramende. Gusimbuka urukiramende. You'll see like them jump. The king was standing beside, and the guy was jumping, like he could jump like
crazy.
This.
That's crazy high.
Right? Yeah, that's crazy.
And this guy
2.5 meters.
Yep. This guy was the guy who designed this. It's my first painting I've collected in my whole life. So that's why I go with it anywhere. It costs me a lot of money. I don't want to say it, but I'm like, maybe when I'm gone, this thing can be put there.
Yeah, hey. That's dope.
Can be auctioned. Why not? Yeah, hey. So man, I love being here, man. I was nervous. You guys have a way you make someone feel like welcome.
Thank you, man.
And
you as well, dude.
Jamie Morrison and everyone in the comments speaking good words, man. I really appreciate. So you guys don't just appreciate. I want to see you at the. That's the salesman in me. The Kickstarter campaign.
Yes. Dude, we will be getting alive, and we will be drumming up everyone, getting them hyped up for it. We'll be a hype man on that one for sure. Yeah. It's interesting too. I'm still like reading this whole like Gusimbuka thing, like with the high jumping. Dude, 2.5. That's like over 8 feet. That's crazy high. Yep.
So traditionally, Rwandans have a high jump. They could make good basketball players. So yeah.
That's funny. Yeah. No, I mean, hey. You have people who can.
Who's Xavier Spade? Who's Xavier Spade?
So Xavier Spade is a magician out of New York. He's a good friend of ours, but him and Jackson love your laugh. We're gonna have them clip it after and make some soundboard buttons. So,
is he gonna make a meme or an emoji out of me?
No,
please.
It'll be like sound only. We won't have a meme up.
Yeah.
Oh
my God. And so
copyright, intellectual property.
Well, there you go.
Well, hey, dude, it's our show, so we're cleared.
Okay, I'll take some royalties.
There you go. I love it. So now, how have you found the brand side of Gakondo with the clothing side of it? How has that been going? Have you found a lot of traction behind that as well, based on the excitement for the deck of cards?
Can you repeat?
So, like for the clothing line and the lifestyle brand around Gakondo, have you found a lot of people really excited about that as much as the playing cards as well, especially locally?
Yeah, locally, I started doing that, but then I realized that producing a high quality merch, you have to be specific. It's like in the industry. So I'm still learning, but I started with print on demand, and I'm doing I'm specific about the material I use. So,
nice.
And this is one of the hoodies. You can see, it's very nice. Oh,
see, I'm looking right now on the site, so I'm glad to see there's a hoodie because the hoodie's not on the site yet.
Oh yeah, but the sweatshirt is the same material as the hoodie.
Okay. So when are the hoodies going to be released? Because I'll definitely buy a hoodie, man. Yeah.
this coming week, I'll be adding the hoodies too.
Awesome.
I don't know. So it depends on the season. So and keep in mind, everyone there, for the US buyers, it's free shipping.
That's what we like to hear. That's what we like to hear.
Free shipping. Yeah. Nice. And it takes 5 days to get to you, 5 to 7 days. So
that's not bad. Nice.
Yeah, navy hoodies.
Oh yeah, navy. Why not? Why not?
Navy's a dope color. I love navy hoodies.
Listen, send an email. Go subscribe. Send an email, and send even Steve and Tyler. They will tell me what colors, and I'll add them there, and they'll email. So let's rock Gakondo, y'all.
Yeah, hey, I'm down, dude. I told you. I don't know how long.
Divert the show. I don't know.
Dude, 7 months ago, I tried to buy one on the website, and it wouldn't allow me to.
Oh, I know.
He's like, bro, you got to go get some merch, and I was like, bro, I already tried, and it didn't let me order it.
Oh my god.
He's like, oh shit, I gotta
fix it. Long, man. My website, I changed it 4 times, and it crashed and payments and stuff. I had to really change everything, and oh man. But right now, like logistics, beautiful. And this is Bella Canvas, by the way. So I'm putting on Bella Canvas, y'all.
Nice. Bella Canvas is good. Is that who makes the t-shirts?
Yeah, those are the t-shirts.
Yeah, their stuff is really nice.
Yeah, I like their stuff.
Yeah.
And so,
oh man.
So where do you see the brand itself going further? Do you see a lot more? I know obviously you want to keep the brand around the cultural and heritage ideas. Do you see? And I know you mentioned the Dark Continent deck. Do you see trying to involve a lot more local Rwandan artists, including, I know you mentioned a couple of collabs you have in the works, but are you going to try and expand that throughout, like African artists, to really bring a spotlight to them?
Yes. So the plan is to duplicate the same concept on the continent. I believe this continent has some of the great artists, but they're not seen because the internet is a big ocean. So that's one way I'll be bringing out not only playing cards, but also board games, augmented reality games, VR games. And I'm looking at publishing the first comic book, the Gakondo comic book. I have different stories, and there are novels that will come out also. There's podcast. So the future of this brand. Yes, Pastor Steve. Bishop Steve.
Dude, come on now. Oh man.
I think, and it's interesting though, and you're really right about the fact that there are so many great African artists who don't get the spotlight, which is really interesting though, because if you really think about it, like artistic creation was born in Africa,
creation
the first
in general.
But you really think about like some of the oldest forms of art have been found in Africa. And so
Yeah.
to think that it's spread, granted, it's beautiful that art has spread over the world, but you'd think that we'd realize like, hey, this is a continent that has the absolute longest history of artistic creation. Like, bring that spotlight to it, you know? I love it.
Sorry. Xavier, you better stop that. Of course, there's alcohol coming, so watch out.
I love it.
He wants alcohols and burritos.
I know. Yeah, so you're right. It doesn't do justice to artists. There's artifacts that are still in the museum in Europe and in many countries, right? So from Africa that were taken during World War.
Yeah.
And when you look at the Ghanaian and the Ghanaian kingdoms, and you see how they were good with gold, and there's a lot of artifacts and the stories behind, and there's a whole deck around the masks. So there's what they call chokwe masks. In Congo, only in Congo, you have almost how many tribes? Hundreds, 500 and something.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Tribes, and each tribe has a mask.
It's like a
so
flag.
You can imagine. Yeah, imagine. Now you go to Nigeria, Ghana, Gabon, all those kinds, Senegal. Everyone has a mask. That's it. Like you can go series of masks if you are to do only masks. So there's a lot of content that I want just to bring out. But also I'm thinking of the partnership also with different continents to see how to create stories. It's more about stories. So when I look at my little boys, I'm like, okay, is there a way to write stories in a way that inspires them to create? I know there's Spider-Man, there's all those Marvel superheroes, but we have our own superheroes. How do I do that in a style, in an African style? Because like it's so easy to try to copy manga style. It's so easy to copy the Marvel style and DC style, but how about making it in our style without being too bloody? Because that's a good thing about right. My kids today, they watch Dragon Ball, all of them, right? One is 7, the other one is 4, and they watch Dragon Ball like they know every line and the music, everything.
That's like, awesome.
Okay, I would love to see Gakondo someday create a comic, right? Comic Con of Africa. So that's my dream, to build a brand that is legacy based. It's my dream. Now I cannot do it myself. I'll need people's partnership and people who would love to discover this culture, this continent. So that's my dream. It's a dream, and one day maybe it will be true. So
no, dude, hey, I have no doubt. You set your mind to it, you do it. That's dope.
Yeah, Tyler, you better join the cards also.
Oh my God. Yeah.
No, there's no excuse. No excuse. You can't be telling, oh, I like it, appreciate it there, da, 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 da. Listen, we can make a whole deck dedicated to you.
Okay.
With your faces.
Sounds like my nightmare.
Faces. Listen, different faces.
It'll be the bearded deck.
Oh my God, I'll have my beard grow out.
Neon Tyler. Tyler.
Oh my God. We'll figure something out. Max, trust me. When I'm ready to make a deck, you will be the one I'll be reaching out to, because I do truly love the style you've gone with on it, man. I think you really have brought such interesting style to the deck and to the whole kind of approach you've done with all of it. I love the branding around Gakondo itself. I love the artwork in all of the decks. So I would definitely be coming to you to help out with that.
Heck yeah, the brand is beautiful. Those images, I love the images you use.
And so now you mentioned prior to all of this, you did and you still do graphic design consulting and brand consulting. Have you always had a passion for art?
So since I was a kid, I was into art, and I did some training on illustration. And I remember the first time I did an illustration, I was in primary 3, and my drawing got a prize in Burundi. So when I was a kid, right? So, and then graphic design came as my background is in IT, computer engineering, and specialized in network security, but I left that in 2011. Okay. And then I jumped into graphic design. I was fascinated by digital art, and how people can design something and then you feel it with your hands, because I was fascinated by feeling things. I just love feeling things. I love details and paying attention to details. So graphic design was one of the things that I've been doing for years, but it became sort of what do you call it? It was saturated the market with bad design that I felt like, you know what, let me pull back a little bit. And I've always dreamt to create one thing, and maybe one day be in a dictionary in my country, right? Because these are the first Rwandan playing cards in the history of Rwanda. So, and maybe one day when we have our own dictionary, I might be in a dictionary, and maybe building legacy starts with that. Just that one step that can take you to another step, and here we are, four of them, right?
Yeah.
Never thought I would even push beyond this. Now we
Yeah.
have four, and so
So
that
awesome.
you see this, it has 12 slots, and these 12 slots, let me show you. It has 12 slots. You can see here.
Yeah.
And this is our display, right? So and I'm trying to create. Traditionally in Rwanda, they used to collect cows.
Okay.
Now, yeah, it's a culture of collecting cows. We
really
love
cool.
cows, and they were collecting them based on the horns, based on the colors. So when you see umusengo is that this cow that has this color. It's close to this, right? When you say isine, umusengo is a cow that has red and white patches. What do you call it?
Yep.
White,
Yeah, like patches.
stains. Yeah, and isine is a black cow that has white. So the collection I'm gonna have, it will be called ubusho or umukumbi. Umukumbi or ubusho is a group of cows. So I started with 12, so it's a slot, and that the brick box will be called umukumbi or ish ubusho. So that's in a Rwanda. Like, I'm trying to convert it to educate people. Oh, I have a ubusho of Gakondo. I have a collection. Ubusho, a collection is a group of. So a collection of 12, a collection of 30, a collection of 100. So they have different names and they'll have different colors. So this is for this deck. But if you guys are interested to run a campaign of this deck in a more detailed kind of expanded with the stories, because there are stories I didn't even share, because I created each face has its own story. And I created a whole character. I shared a little bit about it at the beginning, but then I wasn't able to expand because I got distracted a little. But if you guys are interested to see this, let me know. We can run a whole campaign about it with the specifications that you guys like. So
yeah, it'll kind of be like that. The year of the ox, a year of the rabbit. Who runs that campaign?
Nomad Playing Cards.
Nomad, yeah. So they do kind of like that. They have 12.
Yeah, for the Zodiac, for the Chinese Zodiac, they do like 12 campaigns across.
Oh,
and it'd be kind of the same idea. You do one for each color,
yes,
cow, you know.
And the techniques, we can vary different techniques. And the box can be either. So we have a volcano that recently erupted in Goma, in Rwanda. But then we have a lot of volcano stones. So I wanted to make a box out of a volcano stone, cut it, and create.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
It costs a lot on shipping, but that would be awesome.
I'll have to ship them in different continents first, yeah. And then the top will have a wooden with a leather embedded in it, right,
nice.
Engraved in it. So I wanted to make a box like that for collectors, for people. So, but we'll see as we go. I want to try crazy stuff. As long as the community is supportive about it, then I'll create those stuff. But I would love to duplicate the same concept of Gakondo Rwanda, to duplicate it in different countries in their language and celebrate their culture. So yeah,
that would be really cool. I think, and I think you'd honestly get a lot of support for that, especially in cultures that maybe don't have the international reach. You know, I think a lot of European countries have pretty solid reach, but I think across Africa, I think there's so many different, like you mentioned, so many different cultures that don't have the visibility with the rest of the world, either because they're very small cultures or small populations who celebrate that culture, or just because of, you know, visibility in general. But across the world, I'm sure there are tons of cultures who have that similar, I don't want to say lack of visibility, but maybe just the reach isn't there currently.
Exposure, yeah.
So
Totally,
I think that's awesome, man.
And I think like you guys are doing a favor to those people, the underdogs, right? So because this industry sometimes, I must say, the big muscle guys, they don't see the underdogs, and you guys are kind of becoming the bridge between the underdogs and the big guys, and in the community. So I have to really
thank you, man.
Clap for you guys for doing that, because keep doing it. I'm behind you. Whenever you need my support in any way, I'll be here. So
that really means a lot, Max. We appreciate that.
Yeah.
Thank you. And I mean, you know what? I think that's one of the best things about this community is it's something, you know, you look at people who really are passionate about art and passionate about storytelling. Playing cards is an approachable medium to use to tell your story and spread the word about your work. And I think it's always exciting to see new artists come into the scene, because ultimately, you know, I mentioned earlier, Jamie talked a little bit about the global reach of the community. I think there's a lot of artists out there who we may never have seen, even some of the bigger ones who we may never have seen their work if not for playing cards. You know, you think about someone like Lorenzo or Gio, if they had continued to do what they do, and they continue to do graphic design and branding and all that stuff, but locally, yeah, you may have seen, you know, their work may have made it into some graphic design and branding magazines that have international readers, but everyday people like us would have never seen them. And so playing cards are such an accessible medium because most of the world in one form or another has some sort of playing card. And so it shares so much more of the work and the art. And I think if nothing else, it also breeds a appreciation for art that maybe not everyone has. Maybe not everyone has easy accessibility somewhere like an art museum or an art gallery where they can see these things and learn about it and appreciate them. And so, you know, playing cards, it's almost like a pocket-sized gallery.
Yes, totally agree. You talked about
pocket-sized gallery.
Yeah, dude.
I was asked by the Museum of Cards in Paris. They wanted to have my cards.
Oh, that's awesome.
COVID happened, so I'm trying to see how to kind of
that's really exciting.
There's no African cards, so
that's
I want to place the first African cards there. Yeah.
That would be amazing, man. I can't even begin to imagine how excited you were when all of this just started picking up momentum.
Bro, I get goosebumps every time I think about this.
That's awesome.
This day, even when Steve was like, "Would you like to be on Deckin?" I was like, "Deckin Around? Are you serious?" And I went through almost all of your videos.
Well, we appreciate the support.
My wife was like, "Are you gonna sleep?" I'm like, "No, I have to watch these guys because I want to see how people behave on the show because." I'm a shy person, so and then you guys have managed to keep me calm, and I haven't gone to the toilet yet.
There you go.
I think we all went right before the show.
Yeah,
so
that's the way to do it. You gotta go right before the show. Makes life a lot easier, and then you go immediately after the show as well.
I know, like I was excited like a Labrador, and I was like, "Yo, man, I have to."
We appreciate that.
It means the world. Like I cannot like.
And by the same token, though, honestly, it means the world to us to have every single guest we have on this show because we love getting to know everyone's story and who everyone is behind their deck of cards or their magic tricks or their whatever it may be. And I think, you know, one of the craziest things about seeing the popularity of your deck just really rocket and blow up, I'd say. I really think there was a very strong momentum behind your deck of cards, which I think is beautiful. It almost like to me, and I think, you know, not so many people.
Sorry, there's people writing some comments. I have to remove the comments.
we told you it's distracting. Jamie is good with his questions. We'll definitely get Jamie's question. Also, Xavier says just shower 5 minutes before you go on air. He also knows my routine.
Oh, Spade, please, 5 minutes. He showers like 2 minutes.
I literally showered right before. I shower before every live stream and every recording. It just makes me feel better.
Yeah, it makes the skin look smooth.
There you go, man. Yeah. You look a little more put together. You feel a little more relaxed and comfortable.
I know.
So I get it.
Too much coffee and then ice cream. So I think that the sugar rush is kicking in.
There you go, man. That's good though. But so for you, I'm trying to think what my question was now. I feel like I got. Oh, so was that it?
Sorry, man.
Oh no, you're good.
I removed the comments.
It's all right. I get sidetracked easily as well, and then I was in there. There you go. Jamie says he showered before.
Also, you got tattoos.
What's up?
You have tattoos.
Yes, I have. Yeah, I have lots of tattoos. So nice.
I got one yesterday. I got a new one yesterday.
On his middle finger, of course. No, seriously though, he sent me a picture of it. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. So.
Why in all places did you choose that?
Because Steve is what we like to call. Steve is what we like to call a contrarian. Steve looks for opportunities to instigate, and we love him for it. But now Steve has found a new tool to instigate where he's like, look at my new tattoo. And you're just like, all right.
Oh my goodness.
Love it. I absolutely love it.
You didn't do this. You have to do it.
Yeah, it's funny because when we were joking around, because Leslie got the same thing on her finger as well. And
on her middle finger also?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Congratulations on your marriage.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because people, because we were saying, like, joking around, be like, oh, if anybody asks if you're married, you could just be like, yeah.
Oh my goodness. I love it.
Yeah.
You guys really make someone laugh. My head hurts now.
I'm going to tell you, that's how we know we have a good show, because at the end of it, our face hurts from smiling and laughing so much. So, dude. But so
I've never seen Tyler laugh this long, and he's a serious guy who always keeps the show, right?
I do try and be. I need to be at that point, but
that's the different sides of Tyler and I. That's the cool thing about us. You make
a good balance.
He's the one that's like.
Yes, I'm planning and I like to, again, behind the scenes is where I'm comfortable. And that's the thing, like you said, you're very shy. I'm very much a behind the camera kind of person usually. So for me, the show is my outlet to make myself more outgoing, and it's a good thing though. You sometimes have to get out of your comfort zone, as I'm sure with the deck of cards. I'm sure there was a lot of stress and nerves around first doing this project, and now looking back, I'm sure it was a great idea, but you don't know that until you try it, right?
True.
So,
like the first step, the rush.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know do you have any routine you guys do before the show? Like, do you make those noise or anything?
Bro, you want to know what we do before the show?
Yeah. I literally
we're talking
individually.
No, mine is literally I just take a shower and then I walk in here and then I'm like, all right.
Tyler has rituals. Here's his ritual.
Yeah,
I have to drink my water. I have to drink my water before we start. I always have
ritual.
He
goes.
Sometimes I like swish it around. Yep. Cheers.
Water, people. Cheers.
Oh my god, you need it.
Yeah,
The speaker sometimes can hydrate you, so
there you go.
Like dehydrate you. Yeah.
That kind of like ices you up.
Yeah, Steve's got all his noises there. He likes to get them. That energizes him. He always hits the button before we go, just because. And then he's like, "I had to make sure I knew which one it's on." And I'm like, "I know you just wanted to press the button. It's okay."
I haven't I only literally loaded.
You can give him his wins. Give him his wins.
Yes, no, without a doubt. I let Steve. It's funny because Steve and I, when we first got the soundboards, went through like hundreds of sounds to find ones we enjoyed.
Literally.
And the amount that we found that were hilarious, but we knew we would never be able to play them on the show because they were either inappropriate or they were like just weird. I mean, I think the weirdest one we play on the show sometimes is like the or copyrighted. We got a copyright strike once because I played the Jeopardy theme song. It happens. So that was an interesting.
These algorithms out here are going crazy now.
Oh, they're fast about it, dude. Spade, thank you so much for the support, man. Tyler needs new body wash. Thank you.
Thank you, man. Thank you, man.
I gotta tell you, showering as much as I do for the show, I do go through a lot of body wash.
You know what I use? I use Alafia Black African soap.
Nice. Organic. Look at you.
Dude, stuff's legit. Eucalyptus and tea tree.
He's an environmentalist, right?
There you go.
Yeah, he doesn't want to, you know. And
you don't want the chemicals on you.
With the good hair, looking all classy, thin neck.
You know, it's funny actually. So this shirt, I was out of town this weekend for a wedding, and I woke up this morning around like 9 o'clock. I got in the car. We drove 3.5 hours to get home, and this is literally the outfit I wore in my entire drive. So I got home, I showered, I threw on the same clothes I wore for the entire car ride, and I was like, whatever, it looks good. It may be wrinkly below the camera.
What's the weather? Is it cold?
It was actually a little bit chillier here today, so I wasn't like sweating or anything. It was rainy all day,
right.
So that was yeah. No, if I was sweating, it would have been different. There was one day where Steve and I were supposed to record, and my air conditioning was broken, and it was like 94 degrees Fahrenheit in the in the studio, and I called Steve. I'm like, dude, I've been home for 5 minutes. My face was drenched. I'm like, I can't record today. I can't stop sweating.
Oh my!
And it was like,
very sensitive.
Yeah. I'm very temperature sensitive. I am like,
that's a good word.
I think it must have made Steve laugh so hard because he would have loved to have you there straight.
You know what? Like, I have learned how Tyler is, and he has learned how I am. So when he's going off on his thing, I just sit and listen. And when I'm going off on my thing, he just sits and listens.
And we laugh at each other, and we're good.
After we're like, "Are you fucking?"
You guys have developed a bond of brotherhood. Like,
yeah, for sure,
absolutely.
It's rare that you find people who work together this long and haven't even had any fights or anything.
Oh, we have fights. They're just off camera. Yeah.
We have arguments. We have arguments, but they don't last long. They last like a couple minutes.
I wish one day you guys could forget turn off the camera and have that fight.
We probably would. We probably will one day. So actually, it's funny. Way back, like probably, I don't know, maybe like almost 8 months ago, 10 months ago, when we were doing the show and we were in different like areas, I would have an iPad with Instagram on, and the Instagram would be on a live. And it would have a picture up. It would just have a picture, and it would say, "Go join us on YouTube for episode whatever," and it would show a picture of the guest. And we would have we always have like a little bit of an after show party where we'll sit down and we'll talk a little bit about things and all that. And I used to always forget to turn off the Instagram. And so on the Instagram, you could only hear my side of it, but people would jump into the Instagram immediately after. And then I'd start getting messages and they'd be like, "You forgot to turn off the Instagram live." And I'd go and there'd be like 10 people listening to like my one part of a conversation. And I'm like, that can't even be enjoyable. It's literally like there's no context to what I'm saying. You can't hear the rest of the conversation.
You remind me of a story, but I won't say here, of a pastor who went to the restroom before the service.
Yep.
Yeah.
He forgot to turn off his mic.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So the rest is history.
Yeah, that happens all the time.
Dude, you always have to be sure you turn off your microphone.
Yeah.
I always.
We've had some fun times where, Tyler or myself had said things and
then we leave it in a video by accident. Like, yeah, I'm not like when I'm tired and I'm editing, I forget to take things out sometimes. Now I'm much better at it, but I've gotten a message from Steve and he's like, "Yeah, dude, you forgot to cut off like the first 2 minutes of that video." And I'm like, "Oh my God."
So I have a question for you guys. Since you're on the Deckin Around, I think Deckin Around should turn into this oldies kind of music with
oh my God, get like some get like a little like a DJ channel going on, yeah.
Deckin Around.
That would be so good. I'll see if I can find some good disco music for our intro.
Dude, and you know what? We could use what's that what's that? There's that cartoon thing that they have.
The golden edge test. Yeah, I know.
No, but it's that cartoon, the card company. You know that animated card company? Somebody used it for us once.
Oh, the one where they make like elves where you dance.
Yeah. What's
Jib Jab?
Jib Jab? That's it.
Yeah.
Yep.
We can make a jib jab.
I have a question for you.
What's up?
What are the best, according to Deckin Around? What are the best 3 decks right now in the industry?
Ooh.
Best of all time, or best that's out now?
No, I mean this year. Each one will give me 3.
Oh.
3.
That's a tough one.
Who wants to start?
Let's think.
You know what we'll do? Why don't we? I'll do one, then Steve does one, then I'll do one, then Steve does one. That way we have time to think. I'll say probably my favorite.
Want to take all of them.
Well, and I don't, and that's probably what it is. But I don't know what else is like. I have to think about what's coming out that I'm excited for. So one of them, hands down for me, is Eye of the Ocean from Lorenzo, Stockholm 17. One of the things I'm really excited about that one, though, as much as I'm excited about the deck, he did a fantasy book, a sci-fi fantasy novel part of it as well. And it's actually at the back of the book, there's a cutout that the box fits into, and I really love to read. So I'm super excited for the book. So that's probably like one of my top 3 hands down this year.
Dude, this is tough.
Wow. Lorenzo, by the way, is the one who told me to reach out to WJPC.
Ah, nice.
So thanks to him. Shout out to him. Yeah.
Dude, he is such a nice guy. That's one of the things I really love about this community is like everyone is really willing to have conversations around it, especially when it comes to cards. Yeah. Jamie made a good point earlier about like the stuff outside of cards where it's like the coins and the boxes and all that stuff. People keep very secret because they don't want to give away their suppliers. But when it comes to cards, they're very open about it. And that's like, it's funny. It's really interesting to see. So.
Yeah, as long as, because I'm not going to go there and take your designs. I don't know why people are so uptight about it.
I don't know either.
If you did coins, I'm gonna do my own design.
Yeah. Well, and I think they worry about competition from a cost point of view, but like if someone wants to buy your coins and they like someone else's coins, they're gonna buy both. Like I don't think it cuts into the business as much as people worry about, but you know, it's I think part of the.
For example, if you go on my Facebook right now, you see the coin of the king.
Yeah.
So that guy was the last before last king. So his name is Rudahigwa. He's the king that was assassinated in Burundi, in Bujumbura, and his brother became king because he got assassinated. But that king, that coin, like looking at that coin, I was like, you know what, I would love to add that in the other deck, the third deck that I'll release. Rudahigwa, King Rudahigwa. Rudahigwa. JWA. Yeah.
Okay.
Rudahigwa.
So Rudahigwa, Guhigwa, it means it's someone who cannot be beaten or like beaten in competition, like when conquer or something, like someone who can. Yeah. So the name means Rudahigwa, someone who cannot be conquered.
Nice.
Okay.
So and he was loved as a king. So in the history of Rwanda, and his wife is the one I posted. Her name is Gichanda, Rosaria Gichanda, Queen Gichanda, and she was a beautiful woman, right? And that was the wife of the last before last king, because the last king was in exile after, and he died in the U.S., right? So he's been there since the 50s when he left. And Queen Gichanda, God bless her soul, was raped in genocide and killed in genocide. So,
jeez.
Yeah, but she's the most celebrated queen in Rwanda. So, actually, the only celebrated queen, to be honest.
Wow.
Her house was always full of people, like hosting people. So, like she had a beautiful heart. Like, so when that T-shirt I made with 4 blue, green, red, and yellow with Queen Gichanda, you can read a little bit what I wrote about, and that was about that queen. And you get to know more as I post about Rwanda. So we're a country that is new. We can
Yeah.
say it's new. It's old but new also because it's considered. 1 minute, let me cough. Sorry, you're gonna cut off that.
We'll leave it, but it's
we'll leave
fine. Yeah, makes you more human. You're fine.
Yeah. So yeah, that's around Gichanda and Rudaigwa. So I was asking, the first deck you said was by Lorenzo. The
Yeah.
second one.
So Steve, what's your first deck for the year?
I'm gonna have to say I think the luxury Nox.
Oh yeah, you're a huge Knock fan, so
I'm
that
a
makes
big
sense.
Nox fan, and I think the luxury Nox are just beautiful.
Oh, the recent campaign.
Yeah, with the foil, with the like the gold and silver and copper foil. Yeah,
He did three, right? There were three.
Were there four? Oh yeah, they had the hollow gold, silver, and copper. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I would love to make something like that, man. That guy, he's consistent, minimalistic, but when it comes to print, embossed, and the foil is.
I mean, Andre is a fucking genius. He is very smart at what he does. He's a businessman. He is a very smart brand, and he just knows what he's doing, you know. But all right, Tyler, what do you think?
So I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think what it would be a second one for me.
This is tough.
It is tough because like there's a lot of decks that come out, and I like.
Let's go back from November last year.
So November last year.
I mean, I don't even know when.
Or July. Let's say August.
Like so August to August.
Yeah, or we can add 2020 also, right? If there's a deck that I mean, because 2020, most people are like, it didn't happen.
So
we're all at home.
So another one for me then is the Tale of the Tempest from Gentleman Wake and Lautrec. Specifically in that one, their Treasure Edition, the gold one. I think that's a really cool looking deck, and I'm excited to see that one as well.
Did you back him up?
So I did back him on that one, yes. So
man, Gentleman's Work with the storytelling. That guy.
He is a phenomenal storyteller, and I absolutely love the work that Lautrec does. So anything that he's involved in, I'm usually pretty good to jump on.
Oh yeah. He has those tarot decks, tarot cards.
Yeah.
He made. Ooh.
Yeah.
Like the details, and it's a bit dark, but I love it.
Who?
The guy who works with Gentleman's Work. What's his name?
Oh, so that was Lorenzo did the tarot.
Lorenzo.
Yeah, Lorenzo did the tarot. That's
Keymaster.
This one, yeah.
Oh my goodness. Yo.
So Gentleman Wake's worked on a couple now. So Lautrec did Crypt. He does Crypt, he did Arabesque.
Why did you take it back? Why did you take it back, man?
Oh, you want to see it again?
I just like sometimes when I look at them and I'm like, this is just a 3D render, right? Until you touch it,
these
and
things,
you're like, this is a deck of cards.
Is amazing. This tarot deck is absolutely amazing. The actual work that went into this. Yeah. It's nice, right?
Yeah.
Do they still produce them? Can
I
buy that one?
I think you can find it. I don't think he has any more.
They're gonna be pricey.
Yeah. Yeah, because they weren't cheap originally. I think I don't even remember what they sold for originally.
Like 135, 150.
Yeah, I think somewhere around there. But yeah, they're beautiful, and they're all gold gilded inside too.
Oh my goodness.
My
goodness. Who's the guy who did the Morocco? Is it Morocco deck? The one with the mirror inside?
So that's Alex Chin. Alex Chin from Seasons. Yeah. That is an amazing one as well.
Yeah. Like there are people who I call them engineer designers. They're not just card designers. They're engineers because the way they think in another dimension.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I think I'm gonna say Crypt.
All right.
That I think that falls in that time zone, right?
You can find out. It might have been earlier though.
When did we do our?
Oh no, that was July. We did the unboxing, so you're about 3 weeks off. So
Crypt by who? By who?
Crypt was Lautrec also. Yeah.
yeah, Lautrec is good with his decks.
Yeah, I mean that deck is for me. That's probably the top deck for me. All right, Todd. Last one.
Last one for me is actually an easy one, and I have it right over here. I haven't unwrapped it, so don't mind that. But it was the gilded edition of the Robin Hood deck.
Oh,
King's Wild. Yeah.
King's Wild. Oh my goodness.
I love I love the book boxes he was doing, and I love the story of Robin Hood. So for me, this one was a no-brainer.
Yes.
Absolutely awesome deck.
Oh, that guy is crazy.
I love Jackson's work. He's phenomenal.
Yeah.
But yeah, this would probably be my that's 100% in my top 3 for the last year as well. So
you should. Does the Bishop has one like that?
I think so. Yeah.
What?
I think. Do you have any left in your shop?
You didn't get the joke. That's the inside joke.
I didn't hear what you said.
You don't go on live on Sunday, so you're the new bishop on.
Oh.
Thank you.
It looks like a Bible. You need the.
Yeah.
And it's interesting too because he has so many you could have a whole bookshelf of them now.
Oh yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if he came out with like a Bible one at some point.
Yeah.
Whoa! Yeah, that definitely that would go crazy. Imagine doing series about stories in the Bible.
Dude, I mean,
they've had them.
You create one with the thief, and you create one with the disciples. You create one with it would be dope.
And there would be a lot of decks you could do in that series as well, though. Like for all of the high impact stories, it would be amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have to count how many Christians are in the community because you don't want to spend that much money. Otherwise, they won't buy it.
I'm trying to think, which was the there were two like angelic religious decks that came out recently.
Genesis?
There was
Genesis?
There was the Genesis Origin, and there was War in Heaven, and both of those decks raised like $150,000.
Yeah.
Oh, War in Heaven, the last one, it had some good lines and some good vectors.
Yeah, people love
but I didn't like the Genesis. I wasn't but the War in Heaven was really on another level.
Yeah, no, they did phenomenal work with that. I think the biggest part for me, the part I liked about the Genesis deck more so was the deck cut that they had with it.
Oh yeah,
because it was like because it was the Garden of Eden with the apple and the snake, and it was like laser cut out of the deck.
I saw a review. Who did the review? Is it Gentleman's Work or who?
No, it was.
I think Jamie did it. Yeah, I think
it was Chad Henry. It was the Rise Magic.
Oh, Rise Magic did it. That's right. Yeah.
Oh yes, and I saw the details. The way whoa, it looked really nice, and the apple and.
I mean, it was laser cut. Of course, it's going to look.
It was perfect.
And the way when you open it, the way they were.
Oh,
there were two like this, and there's one that was standing like it was phenomenal. So I hope one day I can create a deck. So my dream in the industry is to create a deck that will go kaboom. That's my dream.
There you go.
Because those guys, whatever they put their hands on, goes like I'm like I don't know what Chris right now is working on, but he's gonna blow our minds. That's for sure.
Who?
Is it Chris or
Chris who?
The guy who did that deck with the mirror and the
Alex Chen, yeah.
It is Alex, yeah. I always confuse that, yeah.
Yeah, so he only comes out with a couple decks a year though too, because he just came out with he does his annual like NPC CD deck, the National Playing Card Collector Day deck, and then he did Unbroken recently. But I think I'm trying to think. I'd love to see him
do a new one like
that's the NPC. No, that's Kevin Yu.
Yeah, that's Kevin Yu. That's the Card Mafia decks. So
I confuse those guys. I feel like they do crazy stuff together.
They both they both do very crazy stuff with
the same thing. That's about the
No, they both do crazy tuck boxes. They do very like unique tuck dude. I mean think about it. Like the Marvel the Iron Man deck. And then you have Alex Chin. Yeah, but that's like probably one of the most popular tuck boxes in the community.
Yeah, I mean
the Iron Man.
Yeah, the Iron Man deck.
But is it true that the light comes out?
Yeah.
Yeah, it lights up. It lights up, but you can't like, and they changed the model on it because it used to be that there was a switch on it, so you could turn the light off to save the battery. But they took away the switch, so now it always turns on when you open it. So if you leave it open, the battery in it will die very quickly.
Which is lame, man.
Oh my! How much is it now? That deck? On theory,
probably a lot.
I have them on my site for under $70, I think. $70.
Oh, all right, that's not bad. Yeah, because I know.
Listen, Steve. I'm gonna start on a monthly basis. I'll be buying at least 2 decks, exceptional ones, and I'm trying to see if. Do you think it's worth it to subscribe on King's Wild?
Yeah, hey, dude, he's always got bombs dropping. You can't even keep up with what he drops.
He drops a lot of decks, and they're all like amazing decks.
Yeah, I can't even keep up, man. He's on another level for sure.
Yeah, he is indeed. So I know you guys must be tired. I had my sugar rush, so.
Oh please, dude.
And you must be hungry right now. It's almost mid. I mean, it's dinner time. Almost dinner time. Huh?
We got time here. We have to do our deck sniff too.
Yeah,
also, before we forget.
I thought, so you did your third. Was that your third?
Yeah, that was my third. What's your third?
Yes,
my third. I mean, I'm gonna be a little biased here, but my third's probably Visions, man.
I'm surprised that's not your first, but that's fine.
No, I mean, I'm not gonna. That wasn't in no order, obviously. But
okay, tell us why.
Why? Because it's fucking dope. That's why.
No, there's meaning behind it. That's why.
Yeah, no. The story.
Have you ever done a story behind it, like on live?
No, I haven't.
Okay, we talked a little. We talked a little bit about it on the launch.
Now to talk about it.
No, we can't talk about it now.
Come on now.
I talked a little about it, but
yeah, we talked a little about it on the pre-launch live, and then on the in the campaign there was the story itself was there, which was good, but
a little story, but the main meaning behind the deck nobody knows about. I didn't talk about it. It wasn't. You know,
maybe when Visions Volume 2 comes out.
There is no.
Are you gonna reveal that with time?
Yeah, I mean, we'll talk. Maybe when the decks arrive fully. You know, I only have the.
You do all.
Tyler and I will do something on it. Oh my
goodness! I like the way it glows. And that's probably it goes the color with the background, the purple.
That's Katamundi for you.
The purple part, it just looks like
Christian, the designer, did an amazing job. He did an amazing job designing it for sure, especially the design I gave him.
Yeah, Steve's original design was pretty bare bones. That's putting it nicely. Yeah, so
it was bad, but those are the three choices.
But so Max. Yeah. As always, we have this tradition on the show where we ask our guests to open and sniff a deck of cards as a fun little tradition. It revolves around episode 10. We had a good friend of ours, Stu McCann, on the show. Many people in the community know him as Courier Stu. Stu is an absolutely awesome guy, but when we had him on, Stu was able to blindfold himself and pick 3 decks out of a bag and sniff them and tell you which manufacturer had printed the decks, which in and of itself was amazing. Yeah. So Stu knows his deck sniffs for sure.
Stu?
No, that's his name. So, but as it goes, we've always since then done as a tradition, had our guest sniff a deck of cards. So do you have an unopened deck of cards with you that you can open up and sniff? And there's no real way to do this. It's what feels right. It kind of, you can tell us what your thoughts are about the smell. You can tell us whatever you want about the deck while you sniff it. So
I would have all of them here and I'll mix them with my eyes closed.
There you go.
And then you guys will tell me if. All right.
All right.
Turn down the camera a bit.
All right.
Here. Let me see. Yes. So let me put them here so that I mix them with my eyes closed. I don't want to cheat. So put them here. I'll mix them. My eyes closed. I don't have an open deck. The first time.
There's a deck by Christian right there.
The what?
A deck by the designer who did my deck.
Oh, the purple one with the bird.
Yeah, the bird, the peacock.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I've mixed everything. So I'm gonna open this. I don't know what it is.
Nice.
That's nice.
That's
the one.
That's the one.
I love it.
I like how it froze now.
It doesn't smell like plastic. So I'll say Katamundi.
Oh.
Is it?
It's
I
Katamundi.
think it is, yeah.
Oh, I got it right. It has this European smell.
Dude, that's the designer who designed my deck.
Yeah.
Because my cards, they smell like petrol. So I would have known.
There you go. Yeah, the WJPC decks have a very distinct smell. It's very strong.
Yeah.
Yes.
I have to say though, they handle great though. That's the one thing about it. Like WJPC does phenomenal decks. A lot of the companies coming out of like Taiwan, the Chinese printers are doing spectacular work recently.
Yep, I agree.
Oh, did you have a deck produced by, other than mine, produced by WJPC?
I do have somewhere in my massive pile of decks. I think I have 2 others that were produced by WJPC. And actually, for a while, the Kingstar decks weren't produced by WJPC. But yeah, when Kingstar was Ace Lion, they used the WJPC stock and printers because they were sharing a facility. So the original like Ace Lion decks are on the same kind of stock, and they handle nicely. I also like the TWPCC decks as well.
Taiwan?
Yeah.
Playing card company?
Yeah.
So that was the first company I reached out.
Yeah.
The first so their website has nothing there.
Yeah.
And
it has literally nothing.
They have an email, and I sent an email and no response to this day.
Oh,
yeah, it's crazy.
So I realized that's the funny thing, right? When you see in the industry, the moment I mention, oh, my name is Max, I'm based in Rwanda. I think someone just Googles and they're like, this is too far.
Too far, yeah. Shipping will be too much money.
Yeah, I don't want to even respond to his email because he ain't going anywhere.
Bro, let me
there's a lot of people.
Let me explain something to you. If there's one thing I could teach anybody in this industry, it's don't take it personal, because all motherfuckers don't respond.
Yes.
Like, it takes people forever to respond.
I know. But let me tell you, US playing cards, they respond with details.
Yes.
Like details, right?
Cardamundi's gotten a lot better too.
Oh yeah, Cardamundi's great now. Yeah.
Cardamundi and USPCC have gotten a lot better. Yeah.
So the thing is, the first initial email, they respond to it. The moment they ask you how many would you like to print, that's the turn off part.
Yeah.
They're like, too cheap. we don't want to waste our machines on 200 decks.
Yeah.
And you don't even have a campaign. We don't even know you, so we ain't going to even ride on your success. No, thank you.
Yeah, if you reach out to them and you sound like you don't know what you're talking about, they're less likely to respond.
Well, and also anything under 1,000 decks with a lot of places, they're just not into it.
Yeah, but I mean, if you message them and you have all the information, they're more likely to engage more. But,
you know, though, you never know how much business they miss out.
Check out Mama Sauce.
All right.
Those guys have an exceptional print. I would love to print with them. They're a bit pricey on the tax box, but if you're running a campaign, beautiful. Like
Mama
they
Sauce,
really know.
Yeah.
They do traditional printing.
All right, interesting.
So
I'm checking out their site right now.
Yeah, same thing with the studio on Fire. They do traditional printing. It's not just digital, but their process. There's another guy called Mike or something who does printing.
I'm not a big fan of Studio on Fire. I'm not gonna lie.
Really?
I think some of their tucks are great, but some of them are just.
You don't like light tuck box. I realize you don't like.
I just think sometimes their foil is a little whatever.
Is the emboss, you don't feel it that well?
No. Dude, their Infinity box, their Avengers is one of my favorite tuck boxes.
Yeah.
That tuck box is amazing.
Oh yeah. How about gemstones? You don't like the gemstone one?
That one's cool.
I like the work they do for Theory 11 for the most part.
Yeah, I mean they do good work, but I don't think they're the best. But I think
They
they're
have good artists though. They have good
Yeah.
artists, let's say, right? Their artists are really good and they keep pushing the button. And the way they work with vectors,
Yeah.
sometimes when you send a file, it has an image, it doesn't come out exactly.
Yeah.
For digital print, it might come out well, but for offset, it doesn't work.
Yeah. A lot of designers. It's funny because I found this out recently, but a lot of designers don't know how to prepare their files for print.
True.
You know, and
how was it? How easy was it for you? You are not coming from a designer background, right? You're coming from a photographer background, and how easy was it? Because you didn't get gray, you didn't lose your hair, so I would say that it was easy for you.
You got a little more gray.
let me say it this way.
Putting the darkened thing.
I understand being a photographer that printing is totally different than what you see on the screen, right? But working, I mean, Christian's amazing. He's great. He's a great designer. I love his work. Very fun to work with. But it's definitely it's a long process, you know, and it takes a lot of work to go back and forth with a designer. Yeah, it takes a lot of time. It is stressful, you know. I mean, I got fucking shingles during the process, so it's not something that is easy by any means, and especially when somebody else is working on something that you've created for them to create, you know. So it wasn't like, you know, it was my creation that I brought to him, and I was like, this, I want you to do this for me. You know, so I'm sure it was a lot harder for him because he kind of had to do what I want, you know. But yeah, I mean, it was definitely.
Do you feel like it shaped you somehow? Because like the whole experience kind of shaped you somehow, right? So
it taught me. Bro, I'm 46 years old. I'm shaped. But I think it taught me a lot about the industry and about the people in the industry. You know, dealing with these different companies, dealing with people, seeing even people in the community, how they react. You know, so I learned an awful lot about the community and the businesses in the community, you know, in the process. But I mean, I again, you know, it's a lot of work, but if it wasn't, it wouldn't be worth it, right? You know, so it didn't stop me. I have 3 other decks in the works right now, so with 3 other designers. So
wow,
you know, and it's fun, and you know, Tyler and I have other stuff we're working on, you know, that will come to light soon, and you know, so it's a lot of work. It's stressful, but we all do it anyway, right?
Yeah. And I love how the community is forgiving, right?
Yeah.
The community of cards is very forgiving, and it gives you a second chance. This is what I love about this community, right? Because you fuck up the first time, you fix it yourself, and you upgrade your game, they will stick with you, right? So
as long as you're communicative, yes, yes.
So how relevant is United Cardist now?
I mean,
is it still relevant like it was 3 years ago?
Yeah. I think so. I think United Cardist is great if you want feedback.
Yeah.
You know, and not all of it's great feedback, but that's okay. I think that's normal. I think when you're putting something out on a platform, a forum, asking a wide variety of people to give their input, you're going to get positive and negative. I feel like they're more of like a Like
They're one corner of a large community, I'd say now.
I love negative.
Yeah,
because that helps you grow. Yeah.
Yo, I live on that every day. Since I was a kid, I was told you cannot make it. You become nothing. And that's what I live on. Like, you discourage me. Tell me you're a piece of shit. I'm going to come back and I'll prove you that I'm not. Yeah. And I'm going to work hard to earn my respect. So that's what I believe in, that everything shapes you, but the hard times make you even better. So,
yeah. I mean, here's what I think. United Cardist is great for that group of people, because that group of people is different than the Instagram group of people. The Instagram group of people is different than the Reddit group of people.
Or the Facebook group of people.
They're all like clicks. So if you want a certain type of feedback, you go to UC. If you want another type of feedback, you go to Instagram. If you want another, you go to Reddit and Facebook, stuff like that. So, I mean, I think, UC has their own...
With that in mind, what I'll say is, like, I think the relevance question, your question of whether UC is still relevant, they're relevant in their own way, but there are much, I'd say compared to 3 years ago, there's probably many more relevant groups than at the time where UC was the forefront of custom playing cards, where now it's expanded to Reddit, Instagram, Facebook, all these other areas.
They're not more
would you say, Steve, would you say that when you started in the industry, you started as a cardist kind of fanatic?
Magician.
Or card collector?
Magician, card collector.
How about you, Tyler?
For me, it was absolutely cards. I was more of a collector than anything.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Me, I started just as a designer. I wasn't even a collector.
Yeah.
I jumped in. I was like, yeah, I'm excited. Let me design.
Yeah.
And then I went there. I'm like, oh, negative space.
Yeah, no, it's funny because I got into card collecting because of being into Magic. I got into Magic and then just got in, and that's why I rocked so much, because it was like the first deck I bought, and I think from there.
Have you ever thought of adding on your website on the Deckin Around, like, yes, I know you talk about decks and reviews, adding some Magic kind of like tips, like basic for people who are getting in the industry, because the only thing I know is the fun.
Yeah.
And I remember when you were learning all those things, and I was like, hey, it's amazing. But then I was like, yeah, it's good for you people, right? Not for the designers. We're just designers. That's it. And
that's funny. Yeah, dude. But hey,
look at the introvert in Tyler. Tyler, the introvert in you is saying, it's time.
No, I was responding to Jamie's question in the chat. Jamie had a good question. Jamie had a good statement about United Cardists and how a lot of people just don't handle criticism well. And I was saying it's very hard for people to handle, constructive feedback. It's very difficult for people who put a lot of their emotion and effort into something to have people speak negatively of it. And he was saying, for you have the right attitude. It's very impressive that you're able and thrive on that constructive feedback, because you want people to tell you what they don't like so you can fix it. Many people say, oh, well, this is what I like. I think a lot of times people who create, they forget that they're not always just creating for themselves, So
true. And growing up, it goes with my upbringing, of course. I didn't have everything on the silver plate. I mean, I'm not saying that you guys have it, but I didn't grow up in a family that has the house who are poor. So, but this whole thing has taught me how to grow a thick skin, because I think these people in this community, they want what's best. They want you to level up. I remember I reached out to Kingswild, what's his name? Robinson? Jackson, yeah. So, and he picked up my phone, he heard my
I love it. Oh my God.
I was like, oh my God. Do I have a bad voice, or is it because I say I'm from Rwanda? Because the thing is, I'm like, people when they hear, they think it's from the moon, right? And for me, I'm a big fan of him, right? And I follow his videos, how he's very engaging. So there are people who inspire you in this industry, and
Yeah.
for me, he inspires me. One day, hopefully, I'll work with him. But I remember when he did it, I was like, ah.
That's funny. You probably didn't
And
even realize it.
Teddy was like, yo, reach out to the industry. You know, Teddy is a busy man too, but still he finds time to give you that constructive detail. That guy looks at details. Oh my goodness. Like,
Yeah.
and things I'm like,
He thinks
oh,
differently,
I've not
yeah.
seen this. Yeah. So I have to, it's like going through fire, like gold. You have to
Yeah.
go through fire to be presentable. And so, and the more I go through that fire, and you guys are the smoothest and kindest, and you're that's water that you pour on the gold after it goes through fire.
Yeah.
Okay, calm down. Before it goes out to be hammered, right?
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
Good. Hey, you know what? It's definitely there's a difference between constructive criticism and just criticism.
Yeah.
You know, and there's a fine line, and you know, you just have to, if you're going to put your work out there, you have to be prepared to hear what people have to say about it. And you know, and like I always say, it's like, just because someone doesn't like it doesn't mean it's bad.
True.
You know, we have a group chat, Tyler and I, that we chat with a couple of our buddies, and I know that a couple people, like, or one for sure in the group, isn't really a fan of my deck. You know, and that's totally
What does
cool.
it take to join before you continue?
We have our own group with you, buddy.
Yeah, it's
we have lots of group chats. That's the problem. Sometimes they get to be a lot.
Please add me. I want to learn as much as possible, because
we have a group chat with you. You learn. We'll all learn whatever we need to, for sure. Yeah, we'll talk to you about that after, though.
Yes.
But so I know, just because he doesn't like it doesn't mean it's bad, you know? So that's the cool thing about the card community is, you know, even when Tyler and I are doing Kickstarters, you know, sometimes he'll be like, I love this deck. And in my head, I'm like, what? Like, I don't like it. And that's the cool thing about cards. Something that one person loves, the next person might not. And you know, that's why there's so many different, you know, designers and styles, and, you know, because
do you think in the community, though, there's these clans, like these groupies, right? Because I mean, for example, that the DeckCon, what do you call it? That gathering of
Cardistry Con?
Is that?
So yeah, there's a couple of them. There's like Cardistry Con. There's well, there's also like 52 plus Joker, and like the ones for like playing cards. Yeah, there's a bunch of different ones. Yeah, like the conventions.
The conventions. Are you going to any? It would be nice to have you there, like the NBA commentators.
With the background,
yeah, if we can, we're hoping to. Yeah, we have to start talking logistics with a couple of the people who are running some that are going on this year, and see what we can do. So
it would be really nice to have you there. I know I've taken so much time, guys. In the comments, I'm not looking at the comments, but thank you. Thank you. I don't want to take more time, but I love you guys. Are so kind and nice, man.
Dude, we have one question I do want to get in, because Jamie Morrison's in the chat, and Jamie is a big fan, I know. So Jamie wants to know.
Oh yeah, Jamie is so supportive.
He says, "What is the worst bug or animal that you deal with?"
What do you mean bug?
Like an insect, yeah, in Rwanda. What's like the I don't know if like worst being like the most dangerous or most annoying, but
I would say so I don't remember how rats are. It depends. Rats, they follow dirty, but the cockroach, they have their own seasons.
Oh,
so as long as you have a wood somewhere, right? They might find a way to. I don't know where they appear from. I don't know if it's from another planet. But the cockroach they disgust me. They don't scare me. They disgust me, because sometimes I always crush them with the hand. But that thing is just like,
you can't get rid of them. They're always there. Yeah, they're so gross.
Right.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, I'll tell you later, man. I don't like cockroaches.
That's perfectly understandable. Well, guys,
I was gonna tell you a story about it, because since I've spoken about the history of Rwanda, the regime that was there that committed genocide, they used to call the Tutsi people, the minority that were killed, they used to call them cockroach.
Yeah.
So, and snakes. So that in our history, right? So I don't want to end on this note, but so whenever it's like, yeah, they used to call them the cockroach. So it was a name. So when you read more about the history of Rwanda, I'll share books with you whenever you want to read.
Oh, without a doubt, man. Yeah.
Yeah, but for me, cockroach in normal life, I don't like them. I just, I'm like,
yeah, no, hey, I'm with you.
They're a pervasive bug.
I'm not scared of any insects. I've touched snakes. I'm not scared of any insects. So
I'm not a fan of snakes. So there you go, man. I'm not a fan of snakes. I don't like them. But I'm again though. I don't have to deal with snakes often either. So I'm impressed that you. I'm impressed that you've picked them up and touched them. So not for me.
Yeah, man. It's. I grew up around those stuff. So and going to the museum to check and touch them with my hands. So whenever I see a snake, I don't run. I face it. So yeah.
And then this is more of a statement than anything, but what I will say is when you do decide to come out with a Gakondo alcohol, you will definitely have to hit up Xavier Spade and chat with him because I'm sure he would love to try a bottle. He's been very, very excited about the alcohol throughout the entire chat. So that's Spade for you.
And we have a lot of them here. We have a lot of alcohols here. So like strong ones, huh? So
you'd love it. You'd love it.
If my full campaigns work, let's say, and they hit the highest, then we'll talk about that.
Sounds good.
We'll do limited collection of alcohol.
Dude, we are down. Well, guys, thank you. Dude, Max, we had such a great time talking to you, man. Thank you so much for coming on now.
Pleasure, bro. Pleasure.
Stick around for the after party. Don't forget.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna have a lot of fun chat there, guys. Thank you to everyone who came out today to chat. The good questions, the fun questions, the alcohol talk. We're all excited to see where the Gakondo brand goes. Honestly, I'm so excited to just see the way the deck has grown and flourished in the past couple of years and how much it really has taken off. I think it's amazing to see such a focused story on the Rwandan heritage and culture really catch so much momentum. I think it's really exciting for me. It's exciting, and it's also encouraging to see that people are curious still about other cultures and the history of other countries. And I'm excited to see where else you really take it, though. I think, like you said, there's so much heritage and so much culture and stories to tell about Africa that, dude, it's just such a damn good looking deck too. That gold foil is just beautiful.
I have it by my desk all the time.
It's beautiful. But
Tyler, do you have one yet?
I do not have one yet.
Okay, I'm gonna send you one.
All right.
They opened the lockdown yesterday, so I still have 3 remaining.
All right. Well, I feel special.
Two are going to the winners of the giveaway last time.
Nice.
I'm not gonna remain with any. Oh, I have one open already.
Yeah, you got to keep one for yourself, man.
Yeah, and this is coming to you.
I appreciate that, Max. I really do, because it is a beautiful deck. And honestly, like when we reviewed it, I love looking at the artwork. I'm excited for this one. But for anyone who has not checked out Max's decks or his work yet, make sure to click all of the links down below. We have his Gakondo cards, the brand, and the website down in the description below, so you definitely need to check those out. For anyone who hasn't clicked the like button yet, make sure to hit that like button. We always appreciate it. It helps out the algorithm there. So make sure to hit the like and subscribe to the channel. And next Sunday, we have a very special guest coming on. We are going to be having the magician Kevin Lee on the show. For anyone who doesn't know Kevin Lee, absolutely amazing magician. Going to be a really fun time chatting with him about magic life and everything in between. And of course, like we said earlier, next time Max is ready to go live for his Kickstarter, we're going to be doing a live Gakondo Kickstarter launch. So make sure to keep an eye out for that as well. We are super excited for that deck to go on Kickstarter because that thing is just going to blow up. No question about it. I hope everyone who's watching right now is out there to support it, because this project and these projects with the Gakondo brand deserve all of your support.
Heck yeah.
Everyone, thank you so much. Guys. Dude, thank you, Max.
Means a lot. Thank you for having
absolutely me. Our pleasure. Really our pleasure, man. We had a great time with you today. Everyone out there, enjoy your Sunday. Have a great evening, and we will see you next week.
Peace out, y'all.